starting. Let's make sure all this shit. Good. There you go. Alrighty. Broadcast is live.
Yes.
Loading us into the server now. I'm going to let the auto cam run a little bit to start things off here in practice. Let us get the sense of the track. Let me make sure I got your volume up here.
Oh, yep. Sorry, mine's. I'm gonna get the mic a little bit closer.
Perfect. That sounds good.
Wonderful.
Obviously, I'll keep an eye on the chat there, but week 1 loading up here. This is going to be exciting. I don't even know how many racers we are going to actually end up with on the grid. We did get a full 30 signups, so obviously we hope for all of them, but only one way to find out. Let me go to the correct overlay here. We'll get us moving. Gotta get all these back open. I swear to you, these settings never save properly. For the broadcaster app specifically. You ever had that issue?
The what?
Yeah, announcer bot settings. I feel like they just never want to save for me.
Oh yeah, same for me.
But there we go. That'll do. Pig, that'll do. So we got a few guys out on the track here already kicking things off for us. We got 16-degree Celsius on the track and 4-kilometer-an-hour winds to start. Let me rotate the map so you guys can see the wind arrow in the correct direction. It looks like they got a little bit of a headwind on the straight, but that low amount of wind is not really going to be enough to make a difference. Now, have you been keeping an eye on the live timings at all?
Not quite yet. I'm pulling it up as we speak.
Yeah, but we do see. I don't think Parmesan is going to be part of the season, but he did set the bar with a 152 in Z4. We do have Tommy Boy in the Z4, just shy of that in a 152.7. Jawa, our MX5 co-host, in a 152.1 actually. Oh geez, look at that, and a Lamborghini Huracan. So he is making that thing move. And we've got a nice little spread opening up here.
Oh, Jawa's already come out of the gate swinging.
Oh yeah, Jawa is good to go here. He's put 122 laps in on the practice so far. So that is something. Hunter, I'm not currently sitting at my PC, or else I would take over and go to the broadcast livery. We do have some custom broadcast car liveries this season, which we'll get to, but we'll show them later. And we're going to do a whole livery walk, as everybody seems to have custom grid or custom liveries this time around. So, Base, I don't know that. Have we talked to you since you ran the endurance event? Have you done a broadcast?
No, I have not.
Well, so, I mean, you guys had one hell of a race. I know it probably didn't go exactly as planned, but,
Yeah.
I mean, what a comeback. You were keeping up with some crazy pace there. You're starting to walk away from Jesus a little bit at a few points.
Yeah,
If I'm remembering correctly.
I mean, geez, I'm trying to remember it too. Honestly,
A little while ago.
it was a little while ago. No, that was so much fun. I couldn't have enjoyed it more. I love just getting into the details of a setup and working hard on a car, and then bringing the race pace down over time. And that was the big focus in the. Oh, now the details are coming back to me. Yep. Okay. I
Yeah.
remember.
You were racing with Thorn there. You were the expert taking on the rookie, and you guys did a real good job together.
I thought the last one I was with Jawa. I can't
Was
remember.
it just you and Jawa powering through? I thought Jawa ran the last one solo. We do too many endurance events, man.
Yeah,
Too
no,
many races under the belt.
Seriously, I'm trying to remember, and I'm struggling.
It's okay. It's a good problem to have. I did notice that I don't have the tires set up for the broadcast, and that is a good bit of information to have. Let me see if I can remember how to do this here. Hang on. It's been a minute since I've
Yes.
needed tire info, but I think it'll be pretty useful. There we go. So we see actually a couple guys out on the mediums right now, just getting some practice in. They are 2 20-minute races, so I expect we're going to see people going for the softs. Little spin from Botlando there. I'm going to see the majority of the grid, though, is going with that soft tire. But I'm back at the helm now. We'll start taking some of our grid walks and see what we got going on. Get rid of that for a minute. So this is going to be Brian number 2 here, one of our custom liveries, rocking the number 2 blue Z4. You can see he's got a few badges on there, but his main sponsor is going to be Need for Speed 2. Absolutely love it. He has the Sonic Racer in our MX-5 series, so the man is definitely a clear fan of the classics. Jump on over to another Z4, the Sunday Driver with the Cat in the Hat livery. I was wondering how this one was going to look on the grid, and it's better than I imagined, frankly. I love that little slime drops coming up the side. Real nice attention to detail. Jumping on over to Rev 174 in a more subtle looking livery here. Those light dashes of yellow going to help him stand out and really keep with the pace. You see, he doesn't have too much going on in the graphics department. That's going to help him shed a little bit of weight compared to some of these other drivers. And we'll just jump right behind him over to Seb Bellew, chasing him down in one hell of a livery. Talk about a Red Bull. That is the sponsor. I love the little signature there. The man has come for battle, making those Audis look good. We did only have one Audi sign up so far in the EU Championship, but 3 on the grid already in today's events. We'll look over at number 3 right now. This is going to be Bullet in his livery. Looks like there might have been some sort of issues there transferring it over, so we'll have to, oh wait, maybe not. The 3s are in the right spot, so I think it's just like the underlying graphic may have gotten shifted, so I'll have to take a look, see what happened there, try and get it fixed for next week. Everybody's times are jumping all over the place. Hard to keep up. We're looking now at Jawa with that nice little underglow on the Techly Racing Lamborghini. We've got 2 of these boys out on the grid today, the number 5 and the number 23. This is a livery that looks mean heading down the track, and even meaner when it's got its counterpart with him. Got a few familiar sponsors there. Almeida Racing Academy, Suelio Almeida, for those of you new to sim racing, definitely worth checking out. Sounds like base says is a little quiet. Let's see if I can pull you up.
Oh, yep. Sorry, I'm working on my
Okay.
stuff here.
All right, no worries. Once we get going, we'll get that dialed in a bit more. Taking a look to see if there's any other liveries we have checked in. A 4th Audi on the grid here. This one, the patch job. Oh, I made this one. It was made pretty quickly, so forgive me. It's not the cleanest one that we've done, but got a little bit of that Hornsby and Hall for the man himself. Hornsby and Hall is his Euro Truck Simulator company, and I think they run some online hauls and things like that. I don't know the terminology, so I don't want to butcher it too much, but if you're into Euro Truck Simulator, something to check out. Head over to El Garito. I want to say Jazz Monkey made this one for him. The Wild West Ferrari. Dude, this thing is sick. The Garito Bandito. How about that?
That's awesome.
That's cool. Littered with bullet holes. Oh, and it seems like they got the tires too. So we'll let him try and get that one sorted as Tommy Boy slides by in his custom Z4. Looks like we've got everybody in the custom so far. Working his way through in the number 16. You are a little bit quiet, or you're still doing stuff though.
Yep.
Yeah,
My
okay.
apologies.
No, you're good. Just throwing me for a little bit of a loop. We got the classic Scarlet Red Ferrari there. I would almost say fire red. And we'll let him head on. Looks like Dean's going to be dialing in a couple things. And here is the other Techly racing, Mr. Josh Fulton himself. See if he catches Wendy's on the broadcast, maybe pops those lights on for a moment. We can see that underglow popping up. Hopefully these guys get a little side-by-side action going, because I don't know if you've seen the photos of them together, but it's something. I'll tell you that much. Oh, there you go. That's what we were looking for. Just that light blue bouncing off the asphalt. Even in the daytime, it's looking pretty clean. So we'll have to get a peek at that later as things dial back as far as the sun goes. Our classic orange for Mr. Botlando, this time in a Ferrari. We saw him making good headway in the GTR series. Looks like him and Tommy Boys have parted ways as teammates this season, so we'll see how that comes to play on the grid when they find themselves near each other. And I'm trying to look. I want to say we've gone through everybody who's out for a lap at the moment. So now let's start to focus a little bit on the pace. We've got Seb Bellew on the mediums, chipping away more and more at a 155. The number 22 car really pushing hard this season. May or may not have a special surprise for you guys later on in the stream, but we will get that. Ferrari does look great. The underglow is looking incredible. Sorry guys, trying to look at a couple of things there. Base, if you don't mind also having the stream chat up, like just on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely.
Help me keep an eye on some of those. Seb Bellew heading through the Temptation. Oh, that's a great name for a corner. Hopefully we'll see some solid action through there. I'd love to be calling that one out, pushing through Deliverance. A turn we've seen before. Trying to chase down that Ferrari of Big Dean Energy in front. 12 racers now, starting to load in. Pretty solid pace around. Everybody working their way through the best they can. Ooh, and it looks like a little bit wide out by Dean. Seb unable to avoid it, and we'll have our first bit of live contact. Heading into what's up? Well, if there's ever a spot for it. And Seb is ripping through this one, huh?
He's killing it right now.
Yeah, the 155.5 on mediums. So we'll head over to the guys on softs. The Ferrari up top with the 153.5 currently in, again, the live practice. We do have some guys, if you're paying attention to the live timings board. We got a couple Josh Fulton fans in the chat. But yeah, if you're paying attention to the live timing board, you will see Jawa and Tommy Boy have both creeped into the 52s at some point in their practice this week. So they'll be looking to get that pace back. You can see Rev 174 in the background there. Botlando working through Deliverance. It does seem very similar to Mid-Ohio with those kind of windy turns that you don't want to push too hard through. But this track's got a lot of great elevation. You can see all the different bits that these drivers have to be aware of. And although it's pretty open, they don't have to be worried about the walls as much as some of our previous season's tracks. That grass can be deadly. A single tire on the wrong part, and you're going to wish you took a little bit slower line. Ooh, like that. Botlando manages to save it heading into Quarry and regaining his pace through what's up. We'll let Botlando take a little bit of a run as Rev 174 pushing his way through the wicked right now. On his way back down the home straight. He'll be done with this outlap, and we'll be joining him for a solid push lap. Let's take a look. Already using the full width of the track, as you can see, touching up on the grass and the curves wherever he thinks he can avoid it. A nice little recovery there as the car starts to slip out from under him. Cost him a couple tenths, but it's a long track. He's got a lot of room to make that up. Working his way down the rocky road, which can describe his sector 1, but he's hoping for a strong 2 and 3. Looking to find a little bit of pace through the big rock. And he's still losing a few tenths here and there. Now down Candy Mountain. Not seeing any improvement just yet. A lot of time to go. He'll find the pace from under him. Oop, and a little bit of broadcaster's curse strike, so we're going to let him swing on through.
Tough.
You downloading your liveries and stuff?
Liveries, and I'm working on my drone app has failed on me for some reason, so I'm working on that.
Seb's sporting a little bit of damage up front. Looks like he hasn't pit since his run-in with the Scarlet Ferrari of Big Dean Energy. Bathurst is one hell of a track. We're going to do Bathurst during one of the open weeks as a non-season event, just to kind of break it up. I think we've had it in 3 of our 5 seasons, maybe. So there comes a time when you got to swap one out for the rotation. I believe this season was all new tracks. I don't think we've done any of these yet. Possibly in the very early seasons we did Monza. I don't think we had too many drivers at the time, so we were still using some of the Kunos tracks. Have you ever done one of the seasons with us, Base?
Yes.
Which one did you hop into?
Which one?
For the seasons?
You are cutting in and out bad, my friend.
I said, which seasons? Or were you in any of our seasons? Base. I'm not sure what's going on there. Can't hear Base, but we'll focus on.
You're back. Hello.
There you go.
Sorry. Yep. You disappeared for a moment. I apologize.
No, you're good. I was just asking if you'd been in any of our seasons.
I have not been in any official seasons yet. I have signed up for the Miata season for the Miata Mondays, but I have not participated in any season events yet.
Oh, very nice. Well, at least you get a little practice event this upcoming Monday. Baltimore is going to be a fun one, but won't be one of the season events.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, so I will say, I don't know if you've taken a look at the tracks up ahead, but you do have the short season, as we're calling it, for the MX-5s. All of the tracks should be around a 1-minute lap time, give or take 10 seconds. So it's going to be interesting, including a Martinsville Oval event later in the season. So this is what I mean by those two Lamborghinis really can look mean when they're next to each other on the grid. It almost looks like a full team effort there. As you can see, Rev coming up behind them. I know it's just practice, but imagine trying to drive your way through that. I'd almost feel bad. Just taking the time to enjoy that. Oh, the MX-5, yeah, at Bathurst, that was a fun event. I do remember when we set that one off. As we watch a nice little lineup here through Mulligans. These guys all pushing pretty hard together. Jawa trying to show the way. We'll see if any of our drivers are picking up some time. It looks like they're all a little bit slow due to the regrouping into turn 1. Taking a peek at the track, I want to say we've got Seb Bellew toying around with the idea of a hot lap here. He is, and he's early into the lap, but he's definitely getting there. working through mulligans now. El Garito looking like he's having a few issues with tire temp. Just going to push out a reminder.
Oh, I've got the drone camera that jiggles. I can't get the good one to work for me. That is very unfortunate.
Sorry about that. Just answered some questions there. The drone camera struggling for you, you said?
Yeah, I'm having it's not installing the good one, the one that's not jiggly.
Geez, I'm sorry, man. That's always
It's
a
all
pain in the ass.
Yeah, I'm just confused. I wonder what changed.
Is it the drone camera pro one that you're installing?
So I'm getting rid of that one actually because that's the jiggly one, but the standard drone camera is what I'm looking for.
Which one do I have here?
Is it? Mine's
Oh yeah, mine is just a regular one.
You mind throwing that my way, see if that works real quick?
Yeah, you can do that. Let's put on auto cam for a second. Settle Corsa apps Python. Where is Alright, I sent it in the Discord.
Wonderful, thank you.
That should do it. Alright, back to the action. Brian number 7 picking up a 152.967 as he's working his way by in the BMW. He's got a lot of pace going right now for him. Even with all the other practice stuff going on from earlier in the week, he finds himself number 3 on the board of currently 13 racers. He hammers his way through Spoon. A lot of great names on this track. Cameron, I noticed you're in chat, absolutely knocked it out of the park with those 2 Lamborghinis.
Yeah, thank you, Cameron, for the team admin abuse support. Yes, sir. He knows what's real.
As we watch Brian, I know he's going to be a little off the pace here, but we'll still check in with him heading down the line. Our man from Canada, Big Dean Energy, working his way through with the Scarlet Red. It's always nice to have a red Ferrari on the grid. You know, there's something that just seems right about it. You can put like whatever stickers and decals and everything you want on it, but it's not red. I don't know. It's not for me. Although I say that, the Outlaw really did look pretty cool, working its way through the track. And I want to say we had a teal or a sky bluish Ferrari at one point on the grid, so that was pretty good.
Catching up here with, I did the other funny, which is not get the skins installed. Oh, that's too funny. Oh, that's too funny.
You're getting there. Almost there. It's a good thing. We still got 20 minutes left here in practice. You can see the sun's come quite a ways up. So these guys are starting to get a better view of the things ahead. It's only going to be 20-minute races, so they don't need to practice too hard. They're probably going to start to dial in for their hot laps. You can see a couple of racers shifting off of the mediums back over to the soft tires. Spa 4 Hour was the baby blue. I think you're right there. You see, there's just too many things. Too many things. But we're working our way through the spoon with Big D now. I'm trying to keep my eye on this Delta. He is only 3/10 off the pace into Quarry 1, but this late in the game, he's going to need to reset, try and get a hot one here.
So what if?
What if?
Out of morbid curiosity.
You're a little low. Can't hear you too well.
The link to the GT3 liveries goes to the MX5 livery pack.
Does it?
Yeah, that's what it's giving me.
Are you
Maybe
on the? Are you clicking the?
I'm on GT3 Friday.
Oh, on the server,
Yeah,
or in the Discord? Just click the whatever's in the description on Content Manager.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just blind. Lord have mercy.
It shows up as like the car download for some reason, but yeah, same.
Craziness. Oh, that's gonna be
All right. Technical difficulties, week 1.
all good. We got that.
We got that. Oh no, Dino, what happened? Get back on the gas. Oh, he was 5/10 up when I glanced up. Had a bad turn. Now working from behind with only a 10th gained heading into the crown. He's battling with a 157 right now. Looking at the live timing board, we've seen him go as fast as a 155.4 earlier in the week. So putting him in competition with Patchy in that Audi as it stands. Oh, or that was a 154.4. So as with Rev as it currently stands. If these guys can find those times again, things are a little bit cold right now. The track needs to warm up a bit. They're going to be begging for that second half of qual where things could be as hot as, I want to say, 6 degrees warmer than what it is currently. A lot of room for variation here. We'll head on with Lando. Actually, it looks like we might have a little bit of fun going on. So Sunday driver trying to use Jawa in front to get a sense of the overall pace. They're working their way through Deliverance as the 220 car works its way towards the number 5. Jawa leading the way. We did see him slow down momentarily. I want to say to just give him a little sense of the line through, try and show him where he wants to be, hugging closer to the corners. Give a hand where he can. Jawa went real wide as opposed to Sunday with a little touch up on the grass. Although that Lamborghini is a bit of a boat. Really, there are some, I think you want to keep it as straight as possible.
Oh yeah, I was test driving it with Jawa earlier. This track is really difficult with that one.
Yeah, I will say as far as the season goes, this is kind of the case of getting one of the harder ones out of the way early. Not to say it's the hardest one that we do. There's the good old-fashioned Le Mans still to come, but certainly a difficult one. As Drone Cam narrowly takes out or misses that barrier.
Lucas, if you want to join in these races, join the Discord server, sign up for the championship. We'll get you in as soon as we can.
Yeah, there is a wait list currently, but looks like we've got a lot of racers who aren't showing this week, so I have a feeling we'll have a lot of slots about to open up. Yeah, Le Mans is going to be great. I can't wait to watch that full grid head down towards the first chicane together and see who makes it through. It is later in the season, so hopefully everybody will still be fighting for their chance. I just can't get over this Cat in the Hat livery. I know I might be showing a little bit of favoritism, but
no, it's too good. It's too good.
This thing is sweet.
That's one of the better, like, melting from the front to the middle of the car liveries that I've seen too. They did a really good job of that.
That's what I can't get over is like the slime splash or whatever you want to call it is just so clean. All right, enough fangirling. We'll let Sunday driver make their way through the track. Who is our next victim of the potential broadcaster's curse? I think it's going to be Patchy here in the number 4 Audi. You know, I'm taking a look around. We have a lot of similar numbers, but I don't think we have any duplicates that I've noticed. So good job for these guys. Once again, randomly selecting numbers that don't overlap with each other. Seems to be a specialty around here for these guys. Now, to the credit of the grid, this is an awkward day to start out the championship, as I know some people who are still in school have their breaks ending right now and things like that. Oh, I just got a glimpse of something that I want to take a peek at
Yeah.
and do a special shout out for. The custom broadcaster car liveries here. So
Oh,
Hunter
yeah.
dropped these for the Lotuses, and these are going to be your official broadcast car vehicles. I don't even think, well, I can rev my engine. That's about it. I don't even have my wheel hooked up at the moment.
Oh, I'm using the controller to steer it while I'm moving the camera.
Oh, that's really funny. Yeah, I don't. Oh, that's pretty good.
Get another one. Oh,
Broadcaster shenanigans in the pit lane. We're going to jump on with Tommy Boy as he heads across the line, 3 seconds off his best on that last lap, which means he's going to be a little bit mad. We could see a heater from him here. Definitely pushing hard, hitting both curves on his way through the first couple corners of the track. That is an unforgiving, aggressive line. He is definitely getting ready to go. He's thinking about his qualifying pace. Leading the board right now with a 152.1. Is he capable of getting into the 151 overall? His current best lap is faster than even Parmesan's.
quick question for you.
Yes, sir.
After the end of this lap, I've got a livery question for you. I'm not sure if this is a custom one or not. I've just never seen it before.
Which one?
It's the Connolly T is driving it. It's the Kunos Racing BMW. I've just never seen
It is Kunos. Yes, no, I have seen this one. Just
really
I know it. I don't know why people don't select it too often.
It's
I will
so
say
good.
it's the Black Cat livery. I believe. Like I want to say it came out mostly for that.
I see.
Was Black Cat one of the DLCs?
Yes, I think it was.
Okay, so so it's like a DLC livery. That's if I remember correctly.
That's really cool.
It was a long time ago, you know.
Probably a decade ago at this point.
Yeah. Connolly T, one of the new drivers on the grid. I think
Sunday Driver. I just saw Sunday Driver have a spin up by his own. As I was observing his wonderful Dr. Seuss cat, however, he's left the server. He's probably coming back.
Yeah, currently rocking a 156.2, but that's on the mediums. So we have seen people shaving off a second or even 2 almost with the soft tires. So hopefully we'll see them make the switch.
Who is this on Tommy Boy's rear bumper? Who is that?
I don't know. I want to say in his MX-5 one, there was like a baby metal group. I don't know if it's related to that.
Yes, I've heard them before. Yeah. No, they're nuts. They're really good, actually.
If that, yeah, but like it's. I think it's written, but I can't read it.
What is this? Yeah, I can't read it.
Oh, well, what is? Let's see. I'm trying to get like in there.
Tommy going around the outside here. Connolly letting him go. Getting more practice. The Sunday Driver returns. He goes a little deep into the corner.
Oh, I didn't even realize that was going on. Sunday giving a little wiggle as he regains his traction. We'll have to check in with Tommy Boy. Give me just a moment.
Yeah, he's currently.
Let's see if I can pull him in to the stage. Do I have that power?
You should be.
Move to broadcast. Okay, all right, I'm gonna try it. I moved him here. How do I can't just make him speak. I got to invite him.
Oh yeah, that's the problem with the stage, unfortunately.
Eh, disappointing. All right, well, I'll move him back to the amateur race chat with Bot Lando and let him do his thing. Oh, I just realized I'm not even broadcasting my. You haven't been able to see this whole time what I'm looking at. No
Just
wonder
on the
you haven't
YouTube
been able
stream,
to
so
broadcast that. That makes a lot more sense.
a little bit.
All right, and he said most of these are from in-house. I know the RRR, Paranoid, Hell, Holy Moly. Oh, I do know a familiar one right there, the shopping list, getting tucked away in the corner there. We've got Mad. I think Jazz Monkey made all of these. Carfi, whole bunch. Shopping list part 2. Can't sneak nothing by me.
I can't
And
believe
let's
Tommy
go.
Boy's
And only
got
man.
300ths on Jowl right now. That's incredible.
I know that's going to be an electric battle between the two of them. I'm going to try and get Jawa here. There we go. Because I know he's going to be damned if he doesn't catch up to that. Jawa's personal best in the practice sessions was a 152.175. So he still hasn't hit his own peak yet, but he's getting pretty close. I'll say that. Man.
Showing up tonight. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's definitely starting to fill out a little bit there. 13 is still a good event. I'm curious to see if a few other guys end up joining. So we had quite a few signups for the race today. The RRR was made by Pyro. Ah, good to know. On those other ones. Man, Jawa found a lot of time right here. Are you looking at this Delta?
Yeah,
He
I'm
is up by 4/10 and pushing. That was a sector 1. It looks to be about a 7/10 faster than everybody else. So he found a lot of time there. Can he hang on to it? Working his way through Hook. Car behind pretty far away. It's going to be one of the BMWs, not close enough for me to get a look. I think it's Brian number 7. So someone who's at least got the pace to stay in his rears. I know it's only practice, but that can still be a bit distracting. As Jawa toys with it.
Jawa has put the soft tires on. That's what, we were having a discussion about this earlier. He said the softs don't really work very well for the Lamborghini, so it's going to be interesting to see because the medium tires really hook up for the Lamborghini in race pace as he throws down a 51.595.
Holy cow. I was just going to say, he seems to be perfectly comfortable in those softs now, as I want to say these lower temperatures are definitely rolling in his favor. So everybody else is probably going to be hoping for those higher temps to roll in on the variation, but Jawa might want it to stay low.
He's definitely going to want it to stay low.
Yeah.
I think those medium tires, I think if other drivers, they must be using the mediums as well for the 20-minute race. I can't imagine that they would burn out in that amount of time to warrant using the hard tires, but if Jawa can keep the rears of his car in line, I know they get really, really, really hot pretty quick.
Yeah.
But if he can keep that going, I think he said his race pace is very close to his qualifying pace, so.
I see. And it looks like there was actually already a temperature change. It went from 16 to 19 right under our noses. So that happened around the 29-minute mark. So that's why I think that's part of why these last 10 minutes we started to see the cars hook up a little bit more, is we got the increase in temperature everybody was looking for. And this must be the sweet spot for them. But there is a lot left to figure out. I know we're still hanging on to Java, but I was curious to see if he had any more in the tank. Even on a lap where he's letting up, though, he was still only 2/10 off of that pace. So whatever he figured out in Sector 1 really strung everything together for him. Jumping on with Brian as he heads to the end of a slower lap, but will begin a push as we head into the final 5 minutes.
Jawa had a spin at the final chicane, heading back into the pits as we stood.
Yeah, we did manage to catch just the tail end of that one. Oh, as we've actually got Seb up in front here. So Brian number 7, almost a full second ahead of Seb in the current standings. We'll see if Seb can figure that pace out. Try and stay in front. This might be the motivation he needs. Fear is a good motivator. Oh, Seb's in the chat here. I didn't realize in the audience, so we are definitely not helping the cause. We'll see if we can cause a broadcaster's curse from behind as we see Seb Bellew coming out of Temptation on the money. Pushing hard now. According to the live timings, he is 50 seconds ahead of his personal best. I don't think that's going to be accurate. If I had to guess, that would be insane.
Delta saying he's about a second down on his personal best, so I can assume maybe some race pace or an outlap here.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Do you see him brushing up with the grass a little bit there? He's got Rev 174 up in front of him. A little bit of Audi teamwork as Brian throws the Tokyo Drift around. Or I guess Need for Speed is enough. There's definitely a little bit of sliding going on when I used to play it.
Oh, yeah.
Whether that helped or not. Catching on with the black Lambo. Number 23, Techly Racing founder, Josh Fulton himself.
Man, the myth, the legend.
I like the way that the lime green is snuck in there because I know that's a personal favorite color of Fulton, and it's really done in a way that works. Those neon tints to it honestly kind of get everything together, and the alternating nature I think really helps as well there.
Couldn't agree more. So that was Josh or Jawa showed me the livery in an image earlier, and I couldn't believe my eyes. It was absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Props to camera designs, man. Absolutely. Cameron, as always, coming out with the incredible liveries. I'm not seeing the underglow in my game. Maybe it's just really low. But, that looks incredible on your stream. I cannot lie. I'm gonna have to work on my post-processing filter. So
we've dialed in a ton of stuff over the broadcast here. Yeah, to be honest, it is at the point where I don't fully remember where my settings are at, but we can do some digging together when the time comes.
Totally fair. I appreciate that.
Oh, there you go. I was like, I wonder if there's a little... That's what we were looking for. So Cameron McIntosh staring deep into the rear end of the Lamborghini right now. That is going to be who was the designer not only of this one, but the other Lamborghini livery as well. If you tuned into our endurance events, he was the designer for that one. If you tuned into our MX5 events, he is the designer for that safety car that the broadcaster cars are using. If it's a cool livery on the grid, he might have had a hand in it. It depends. Although I gotta say, our community has been pretty creative over these last few seasons.
It's true. I've seen a lot of incredible liveries.
I do see we've got a new racer joining us here, this time in the McLaren. Who do we got? That's going to be Karem. We'll see. I think they're just dialing in some settings and stuff. Hopefully going to make their way out on the track soon, although they probably took a look and realized not a ton of time. Oh,
I found the setting. I found
did
it.
that for
CSP
the lights?
CSP lights bounce. There we go.
Ah, there you go. Yeah, you want those things to bounce off the floor. Really get a vision in. So this is going to be the last lap for a lot of our racers. Taking a look right now, Seb Bellew is actually the one in the best position for a clean attempt, as he loses a couple tenths to broadcaster's curse the moment I say that. Stop listening to me, Seb, and focus on the track. Josh Fulton going wide to let the Audi go through. Number 22 flying down now, only a couple hundreds off, can definitely gain the time in this back section.
Yeah, now we got the underglow. Hell yeah.
Very nice. Seb toying with his time there, working his way through Beak. It's all going to be about the exit as he loses a few tenths, but gets right back on the acceleration into the throat. He's an expert with that turn. Some might call him the throat goat, working his way
Yeah.
now back down Ralph's Ridge, chipping
Oh, on the
away at
grass.
those couple tenths. That run-in with the grass did seem to cost him just a touch into 4 left. But this is the moment. This is where he can make it up. Oh,
Oh.
and a little run-in with the beach into what's up is going to make this not the ideal lap for him. I know Josh just trying to get into the pits. Rev 174 coming around, not going to see an improvement there. Might have been caught a little bit in traffic. Bounce over to Big Dean Energy. Oh, who does seem to be doing. Oh, I was going to say okay, but must have
6
taken that
tenths
first
off.
turn a little dive. And is Tommy Boy still out and about? He is about to not be.
Yep.
Well, that is a nice little grid that we've got going today.
We've still got bullets out there too.
Bullet. Oh, yep. We'll see if it picks up to Bullet in just a minute here. It looks like Sunday Driver worked his way back out onto the track as well. If you've got overtime, I mean, you might as well use it. It's only practice, so there's really
No harm, no
no
foul.
harm. Yeah, exactly. And this isn't even one of the real penalty servers, so these guys can just try and sneak through the pit lane a little bit.
Real racing shit.
Oh, yeah.
Real racing.
I'm very surprised. It didn't seem like we saw any penalties for that in the MX5 race the other day.
That's good. That's good to see. Oh, Bullet taking a little off-road action here. I'm gonna catch back up with Mr. Big Dean.
I think when I moved Cook, it accidentally muted him, and then he got all confused.
No, well, poor guy.
Things got all messed up. That's my fault. Well, he'll watch back this broadcast, I'm sure, at some point, and hopefully stumble upon that was my fault.
Yeah, or he'll have a little bit of, he'll give you a little bit of grace for it, I hope.
Right. Right, it'll be fine. Cook's not allowed to give me grief until he gets his brother onto the server.
That's true.
Sean, if you're watching this, I know you like sim racing. We've talked about it. You need to join.
Yes, more. Yes.
Tom finds himself at a slight advantage though compared to the other racers on the grid. He recently bought himself a nice little Mustang.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
So the man's had some good practice, and we'll see
right.
see how that translates. I'm telling everybody that he's a race car driver now.
That's awesome.
Family. We are getting closer and closer to the real moment of truth. I feel like qualifying is going to be big here. I mean, you want to be whatever grid slot is going to be that outside lane for turn 1, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. Whoever can swing it around, send it around the outside.
Yeah, let's take a look over at the grids right now. See if we can figure out how they're going to be set up. Oh, do they have no grid boxes? They don't. It's a good thing that they don't have to come around and stop in their boxes the proper way, because that would be a nightmare. So looking at the grid boxes that don't exist, I'm going to say someone will be on the outside and someone will be on the inside. What do you think? Safe bet?
I mean, it's a safe bet, I'd say.
We've got Tommy Boy up, or sorry, not Tommy Boy. We got Sunday Driver up front in the Cat in the Hat, followed behind by, I want to say that's Tommy Boy right there. Still have not confirmed if that's Baby Metal or not, but at this point I'm running with it on the bumper. You then go back to
Copy.
Bullet, who just popped out for a second, but hopefully will rejoin us in a moment. Shifting over to Brian number 2. Lando in the orange Ferrari, sharing a last-minute setup to his teammate, Big Dean Energy and El Garito. See if they can get a few tenths out. And we've got our Techly Racing Lambos side by side, as it should be for
The
the
double
teammates.
underglow goes so nuts.
I
Green and
know.
blue.
Oh,
So
and it's
good.
going to look even better here in the early morning. Since they're hanging out for a second, let's see if we can't just snag a peek. Oh, with the full underglows in effect. Look at that. That looks so much nicer the darker it is. But I digress. We've got a grid to watch. Tommy Boy was his first one out on the pits, on the grid. So as a result, he's going to be our man. Oop. Let's see if I can get the camera working. Sorry. There we go. So Tommy Boy heading through Sir John. He's got a big grouping behind him there as we see the 2 Audis and the Ferrari trying to pick up the pace, cut their way through. If I'm them, I'm going to try and get into lapping order, although they're only a couple tenths apart, hundredths in some cases, so can't really separate too much. Tommy Boy, on the other hand, trying to lead the way because he knows what he can pull off on an outlap. 18-kilometer-an-hour wind this time around.
That is crazy. Oh, and the tarmac is hot already. It's already 20 Celsius.
Yeah, absolutely. With another temperature change coming up later in the session, followed by one more for the race itself. So could just keep getting warmer. Tommy Boy,
letting Pashy through, letting everybody through.
I think he sees that there's a nice little gap behind this group, so he's going to try and drop down. Taking a look, he's got Jawa, though, at the back of that gap. So Jawa's not going to be too happy if Tommy Boy dropped back too much, as those are the guys who are trying to compete. This does put Patchy in position, though, to set up our first hot lap. If he can keep it on the tarmac through Quarry 1, which he manages to recover and do. So moment of truth right here. Can he get a clean run through Wilson? Sounds like he got on the gas a little bit late for my liking, but it is early in the qualifying session. A lot of time to put laps in. It's all about sending a message on your first one. Patch Boy with a relatively clean line through Jock. Base, as one of the more experienced racers we see around here, what's going through your head in this first hot lap attempt here?
Oh man, in this first attempt here, you're thinking, okay, I know I've got a little bit extra fuel compared to what, at least for my personal qualifying run, I'm usually running between 3 and 5 laps of fuel, depending on the session length. And you know, you're thinking to yourself, okay, I've got my tires in their peak. I've got still relatively low fuel count. How much can I get out of these tires on the first run? I got to hit all my marks. And then if you're not seeing, probably here in the next couple corners at the end of the straight, if you're not seeing the tire temp you want, probably back off and wait for lap 2.
Makes sense. So seems like Patchy's at least seeing things that he's happy with as he continues to push. Still not getting a great sense of what his current lap time is at the moment, but
wide there, but he carried good momentum too. So I'm pretty happy with his cleanliness through the lap so far.
Yeah, I've noticed that he has been doing a good job of recovering those missed entries, so to speak. Does manage to find a lot of acceleration in that recovery, so I'm still expecting to see a strong lap from him here. Hoping he'll still be around the 155s to kick things off.
I'm thinking it's going to be a little bit quicker than that. I think it might be a 54, 2 or 3.
All right.
No, I was a little wrong. Nope, I think you're right. 4. Yep, you're right on the money, man.
55.027.
Right
Not too shabby there. I'll take that.
I stand corrected.
But that opens up the door for a ton of potential for the man from across the pond, as if he's already starting just shy of that 54 mark, you will be sure he'll find his way under it in the next 10 minutes. Josh Fulton, number 23. I think he's working his way around on an outlap right now. I don't think he's Yeah, he is still on his outlap. So he's going to be taking his sweet time to get around. We'll give him a moment to kind of work his way through. We'll take a look over at Connolly, who we haven't really checked in with too much. We're going to call it the Black Cat Racer because I don't see a number on this livery.
Oh yeah, that's a great name for it. Let's rock with it.
As he sets his first time with or their first time with a 158.168. So Connolly putting down the pace pretty strong. A little bit of a deep entry into shocks, but they already have at least one lap on the board. They'll be able to go with a little bit more confidence into these next few. Racer I am curious about, the Audi of Seb Bellew. Seems like he is still trying to get a clean one together.
He is up about 3/10 here.
3/10 to a 154.9 with a cut.
Oh, wow.
So that's going to put him around a 154.5. Well, the 154.9 had the cut. He's currently on a clean one. So this could be low 154s we're looking at. I think he's going to fall shy of the 153s, barring a huge exit here.
He did get a pretty good exit. It's not huge.
Real good jump, yeah, but it looks like the acceleration just wasn't enough. So 54.6. Not too shabby. Jawa and Tommy are kind of in a league of their own right now. Jawa already working his way to the low 152s. Tommy going to have to find some way to compete with that. But are we going to see mediums from the Lamborghini?
We have Sunday driver on the BMW with the mediums. His third round is sticking with the 55s, down about 2 seconds.
He is the only one on the mediums, too.
Seb's getting back out on track as we speak.
I do see El Garito trying to mimic the moves of this Lamborghini in front, seeing if he can learn a few things. We'll jump back to him.
Keep it together, El Garito. You got it, man. Oh, he's up 7/10. Huge.
Massive exit there, and he's going to be feeling it as he hammers down the gas through Deliverance. Almost a second up right now on his time. He's got to keep pushing away if he can. He only had a 157.7 with a cut on his previous attempt. So although this is a hot lap, we are still looking at a 156. He needs to find more time somewhere. I'm not sure where it was, but this will at least be a good place to start as he's continuing to shave off time, working his way through. Spoon and 4 left, staying positive on the Delta. And this seemed to have been the moment. He must have gone off at some point at the end because now he is 4.5 seconds up. So we missed something. Wow, holy cow. All right, a 153.052 with 6 minutes and 45 seconds left on the qualifying session.
He understands it. He's ready to go.
He absolutely is. And I'm going to take a peek over.
Holy moly. Just sending it.
Yeah, it looks like the next temperature change is going to come in 1 minute and 30 seconds, just under it now, so right at the 5-minute mark. And we'll see what these guys make of that. Today's race is 2x20. So the second race being a reverse grid always adds to a little bit of interest. These guys are going to have to proceed with extra caution, just to be sure. Still watching on with him here. I was looking to see if he could find a little bit more time and maybe creep into those 52s, but I don't think he's going to be the one to find that just yet. Tommy Boy directly behind him, though, looking for it here. He's 7/10 up, so this is going to put him in the 52 range. He's got a few turns left where he can still find some big time. Going to have to avoid Garito, though. No, and he can't.
Oh, that's unfortunate. That's Tommy's got to head back to pits with that kind of damage, man.
Yeah, that looks
He's
to
missing
be a
his whole
good
front wing.
one. That's going to be 56 and 76 kilometer an hour impact. Thankfully, damage reduced down to 30%, but that's still going to hurt a little bit. And when you're only a couple tenths apart, that arrow really, really helps you.
You know, if oh, dude, Tommy had 2 purple mini sectors this lap, dude. It's sector
Oh,
2. That front, maybe, you know what? We'll see if the BMW can cope with less front downforce. We'll see.
yeah. I mean, he's determined now to make something happen. I think he knows that he can keep pushing, and he'll have enough time to go back to pits, get an outlap, and one more attempt
Oh,
in.
hold up. He's 3 tenths up. Oh, he was 3. He's 2 tenths up. He's dropped. He's lost a lot of time.
He's dabbling in and out, but he did find most of that time in the back half of the track. So we'll see if he can pick it back up. Track temps did change, now 23 degrees Celsius and only a 4 kilometer an hour wind. So there's nowhere near as much interference in some of these parts, but it's also way less of a tailwind through the final straightaway. Very descriptive brake markers, I just realized.
Yes. Gives you the corner number as well as your input.
Yeah, that is something. And look at these little cones on the side of the track.
Yes,
Shows you
it's
exactly
like
where
a
to
Gran
be.
Turismo training session.
Yeah.
It's great. It's perfect for this group as well. I think, you know, for the range of driving experience that we have on the grid, I think for everybody to have like good markers to know where the corners are and where you should be looking for. You know, if it's on the right side, you're turning left. If it's on the
Right.
left side, you're turning right.
Absolutely. Yeah, and hopefully our grid has picked up on that. We do see a lot of these lines aren't too far off, so I'm imagining they're pretty close
Tommy
through.
boy,
He's
almost
pushing.
a second. Yeah, he's up big, up really big. It's not going to be quite enough to match Mr. Jawa. Oh, maybe. Hold on now. Hold that.
Not going to match Dawa, but it's going to show that he's still competitive as we get into a 52.6. So that's going to be a great lap from him there. Let's jump on over to Josh Fulton. We notice he's on a hot lap himself, currently a 55.1, leading things off.
Oh, he's up big.
He is up big, so this is going to put him into competition with the Audi of Seb Bellew. There is a manufacturer's cup going on, but only the top car in each class will be counted for.
A good way to do it. Very smart.
Yeah, keeps things simple. And do it with our attendance history, just kind of ensures that everybody gets fair chances.
Absolutely.
Although I gotta say, there's quite an even spread. We could stretch it to the 2 places.
Josh Fulton up to P4. Huge.
As I say that, the Lamborghinis show that they're here to dominate, not just to compete. Josh Fulton with a 154.296 puts him ahead of that Audi of Seb Bellew. As you can see, he's dialing back a little bit here. He's not going to be looking for a hot one on this one. Oh, because of the time remaining. He's planning ahead. He knows he's only going to have 2 more laps, so this one he's not going to push. Work his way around slowly, make a little room to the car in front, and get moving from there. Let's take a peek at some of the guys who haven't set their laps yet. Bot Lando, really looking for one. He's a couple tenths off of his time, but looks like his time has come with a price. Can he string one together here? The later in the session it gets, the harder you start to push out of desperation. And that's where the mistakes can come from. Looking with some good pace through Wicked. Ferrari does not sound the quickest through that section. But as I say that, he goes a 153.5. So knocks Fulton down to 5th position, but keeps him within the P5, or the top 5.
Excellent lap. Oh, and El Garrido back up into P3. Hold the phone, guys. Hold the phone. Is the Ferrari is not bad here.
The Ferrari is not doing too bad. I mean, Tommy Boy's showing to be the exception, but these high top speed cars, the Audi, the Ferrari, the Lamborghini, seem to be doing pretty well here. Seb, Patchy, Rev, and Bullet all trying to find a little bit of extra time together. We're going to jump now to Brian, number 7, the other BMW, who we've seen put up some pretty incredible laps. I think just trying to make it around in time to get one more in. Oh, this is going to be a race to the
4,
line.
3, 2, 1.
And he
I think he got
makes
it. I
it.
think he
He
got it. I
does.
think he
He's going
got
to
it.
get one more chance here.
Oh,
This is for
Brian's gonna
all
be
the
wow.
marbles.
Well, he's the last car on track. We got to keep up with him now. We're gonna watch these numbers pile in.
He is. And
Oh,
take a
he's
good
down a
look
little
at the
bit.
leaderboard. That's all right. It's only a couple tenths to
Oh,
start. He can still make it up.
oh,
This is
Brian.
going to
Okay.
be a hard one. Now, the thing is, he just needs a lap. When you got a 2 minute and 30 seconds, that shows it's more than just a few corners. He can at least try and creep his way maybe towards
Ooh,
Bullet or Connolly.
Patchy is 2.5 tenths up as we speak, and Josh is only 2.5 down. Oh, he's gaining back on time though, so we're seeing some movement. Big
Yeah, we're
Dean
going to take a
Energy
moment to kind of
in the
jump
front.
around real quick. Let's take a look at Patchy here. He's at 2 tenths up as he heads into Beak,
Oh,
keeping up on it. Oh, and we see Rev 174
yes.
spins out, manages to go back to the pits, but I think that bunched up the grouping behind Patchy here. I
Oh, and
wouldn't be
Sunday Driver might get
surprised.
in Josh's way here.
Yeah, Sunday Driver now 2 seconds off of
Oh,
his personal best.
did
Josh
he
Fulton working
adjust
hard
bits?
though.
Adjust bits? I went to Josh's POV and he disappeared.
Oh, so Fulton not going to be able to string it together on this last one. Patchy
Oh,
though, couple tenths up. This could be what he needs to get in front of the Ferrari, bring those Audis back together. As Seb Bellew found his way into P6, and he
great job by
does.
Patchy.
Gains 2 tenths there on Big Dean Energy, who is out on the track. He's behind Brian, so I don't know if he's going to get one
Okay,
counted.
okay, he's made up half a second. Hold on. That's great. Oh, he's running it into the pits. Fair play. Fair play. He knew it was over. Totally respect that from Mr. Dean. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, well,
What a
that
qualifying session. Wow.
absolutely was. These guys got pretty close together all around. We saw 151.9 to top things off from Jawa. I knew he was going to creep in at some point. That man was determined.
It's true.
Well, this is going to be a good one. Any predictions?
Oh man. Well, we've got Tommy Boy. He's so here's the thing is another point I wanted to make with the car differences is that BMW is exquisite on the brakes. It is better than uh, prototype cars on the brakes in Assetto Corsa in some cases. So that will if he can really lean into the strength of that car and outbreak Jawa into some certain very specific corners, I think some of these hairpins that we've got on the while this track is very flowy, it's also very technical. There's a lot of elevation change, and that's what's going to play into the strengths of the Lamborghini with its mid-engine configuration. But
Yeah,
I
I mean,
think
the
oh, go
one
ahead.
the one thing that I'm think Tom has to consider is that this track starts with a lot of long straightaways. So whatever he does, he needs to be the first one through not turn 1, but that second sector or that second section
Yes.
where it's turn 2, 3 and 4 into the long straight. He needs
Yep.
to get in front before that.
Absolutely. I think he'll have a good opportunity here at turn one. He might even have a good shot. I think he should be on the right side if I'm not mistaken here. Um, so he'll have a chance to send it up the inside of turn two, but that may compromise him for turn three. He might run it wide. Jawa's going to be there, so we'll find out here in a moment. But exciting stuff here. What about yourself, my friend? Do you have any thoughts about? Because I honestly, if Jawa's got that, he's going to have this race pace in the 52s. I from what I'm thinking, he's going to be like low 53s at the start, and then getting
Yeah,
into 52s at some point during the race. So if that's going to be his pace, and Tommy Boy's sitting there now and qualifying on the softs, we're gonna have to see what Tommy can pull out with the medium tires here. If he does run them, we're gonna
Tommy is
still.
gonna run the softs. I can guarantee you right now.
Oh, that makes a big difference.
Yeah,
That makes a
I'll
big
say this
difference.
as someone who really loves that Z4. Its specialty is these 20-minute races because you can run the softs, and it is a lot harder for some of these other cars to do that. The Ferraris can stretch them. I've seen it done, but that's the only one that I would question. Lamborghini, on the other hand, 20 minutes in, it's going to be painful. So definitely have to go mediums for those guys. Let's take a look. So, okay, interesting there. So the Lamborghini seems to be on that inside lane, but a little bit further up. So it'll be harder for Tommy to. He's gonna have to have a clean launch to get this going. But we'll do a quick grid walk there. We've got Jawa up front, followed by Tommy Boy, El Garito, Bot Lando, Josh Fulton, Seb Bellew, Patchy, Big Dean Energy, Sunday Driver, Rev 174, Brian number 7, um, Bullet, Connolly, and then you are on the grid at the moment.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
teleport to pits if
I will do
you
that
can.
momentarily. Yes, it won't let me quite yet, but I will.
I was wondering what that last one was. But we are getting ready here to kick things off for season 6. This is going to be week 1. Jawa to start us off. The lights are away. And a pretty good start from that BMW, but those Ferraris are quick. They're going to try and split the gap here. I think El Garito is going to be the one to try and hold things off, but Jawa
Oh,
gets out ahead.
oh,
Tommy Boy going on the grass, but recovers it. Same with El Garito, a mini spin there
oh,
and a
Seb,
moment.
Seb up big right now. Seb
And
up to
wow,
third.
Seb moves all the way up to 3rd. Tommy Boy dropping down to 5th place. Now finds himself in a head-to-head with his old teammate, Bob Lando. Seems to be getting the upper hand for now, but again, that Ferrari's quick. It's a long straightaway. He's going to have to use that brake to his advantage, which he does. Comes flying in. You see Big Dean Energy getting a little close to Bot Lando in front. Those guys' teammates, though, looks like we might have had a little bit of a crash. We do. That's going to be Bullet and Brian number 7 with a
Oh,
little
what a
spin as both racers are going to try and get back on the pace. Rev 174 and Connolly, I think, having to take a step back and get away from a little bit of that chaos. So we see
look at
Jawa
this.
right now
Oh,
comfortable. 1 second up. We're not even through sector 2 yet as that Lamborghini is running away. Do you see Tommy Boy trying to get a few spots back if he can? Already up to P4 again. He did make the pass on his old teammate Botlando, but we'll have to find that same move on Seb Bellew. Going to take a look here at Big Dean Energy and Patchy. Patchy seems to be getting a little close. Is he going to go for something in a moment here? That momentary bit of caution, I think, is going to close that door for at least a moment's time. Jump over to Sunday Driver, though, trying to find his way to the other Lamborghini on the grid, Josh Fulton, who seems to have dropped back to 8th place off the start.
ooh,
So
as we have a move. We have a move. Seb Bellew off the track. Tommy Boy up in the third.
Tommy Boy does go up in the 3rd. Looks like Botlano has to slam on his brakes to avoid contact with Seb on the re-entry. So not going to be able to follow his old teammate through. And Tommy Boy going to be the one to try and chase down this Ferrari, who is chipping a few tenths at a time towards that Lamborghini.
What incredible lap time from El Garrido. We got a huge round of applause for him to get the car up in there qualifying, and then so far match get really close to Jawa with what he's doing on track.
Yeah, he does seem to have found his groove. Going to jump over to Connolly as we thought. Does have a little bit of a spin. That's going to give Brian number 7 his first eyes on someone here towards the end of the straight. Oh, and we have Patchy, who has spun out here a little bit further up the track. He's trying to get on and get moving before Connolly can catch up. But Patchy going to be on the back foot with 17 minutes remaining. Honestly, if you're going to spin, now's the time to do it. Forgot to update, by the way. It's 25-degree track temps currently, 15-kilometer-an-hour tailwind up the straight. So it is going to be a little hotter, but they do have that tailwind back to their advantage. We'll see if it helps. Got a tight grouping here for the battle for P1. All three of those podium places tight together. And we've got pretty much the rest of the grid right behind, waiting for any opportunity to jump back on the action. It's interesting the way these guys have spaced out so far. I would expect to see a few guys trying to push a little bit harder for position early in the race, but I think these guys are treating it like a little bit more like an endurance right now.
Absolutely. They were line of stern for the whole first lap. Oh, as we get Tommy Boy in the fastest lap. Okay, here we go. It's game on at the front, man. This is a three-way fight.
Yeah, 152.7 from Tommy Boy there. He is going to be almost a second faster than both Jawa and El Garito. So he's doing a good job of pushing. We did see him within that drafting range for just a second on El Garito in front. Did drop out. We see Big Dean Energy with a spin through turn 1. Falling down the grid due to the lap traffic, is not going to be able to make his way back on until after Brian number 7. And we'll try and get moving before Bullet is able to catch up. Yeah, that's who we're talking about there. I do see up in front, Bot Lando with a huge spin. That's going to be a tricky one through Big Rock as Josh Fulton and Sunday Driver take advantage. There goes Rev 174, and Patchy, the man from across the pond, squeaks by. So that Ferrari struggling a little bit. Both Ferraris actually seem to be the cause of some misfortune. I wonder if those soft tires are going to feel the heat.
Oh, they've got to be feeling the heat now. El Garito's down. He's still up at 10th on his lap. He's down 4 tenths to Mr. Jawa this lap as well.
Yeah, we do see the battle of the medium tires going on between Josh Fulton and Sunday Driver. You can see that gap to the cars up ahead for Seb Bellew. Oh, and Tommy Boy, who's gone off. Tommy Boy goes off into the wall there, tries to rejoin before Rev 74 can squeak in. And he does, gets on the gas, but I think Rev might have the pace to at least apply a little pressure here through the back half of Spoon. Putting Tommy Boy in P6. That's going to be a tough one for him to make up. Sunday Driver keeps creeping into the range of that black Lamborghini, the number 23 in front. Fulton up to P4 now and pushing. Can he catch up to Seb? 14 minutes remaining. He's got 6 seconds to make up while defending from this cat in the hat behind. See, that's the other thing about this car. That's an intimidation factor. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're absolutely right. I was speaking with Mr. Josh Fulton earlier today before the race, and he was telling me he's getting some little extra coaching in there. We've got a esports team that we work with here and there called Project A, and Marco Akmazda is the leader of that of the organization. He's I would argue at least at the minimum an esports level driver. He's exceptionally quick. Josh was having to give him some setup tips and some driving tips. And he said he felt a lot more consistency. That's what he's overall. That's what we've been, wanting to see more from Mr. Fulton. Is he really does have some excellent lap time. It's just sometimes losing out on that overall consistency is what costs him big in a lot of these races. It'll be the last lap, and all of a sudden we've got Josh in the wall.
Yeah, we've seen it before.
He's working really hard on that.
Well, that is good to hear. Yeah, but that's definitely something that is a cool experience, and something you can see paying off here. Consistency does win races, especially in these real rookie seasons where accidents happen all the time. And you saw it here. Josh Fulton went from 8th all the way up to P4 in only a few minutes' time.
Now, I do also have to say I'm now catching back up with Mr. El Garito up in P2. He is only 7 tenths off of Jawa. Jawa must have made a mistake somewhere.
No, he's been holding that consistently actually for the last couple laps. Ever since Tommy Boy's spin out, El Garito has been right within that 1 second range of Jawa up front. Taking a look at
Jawa he was about a second and a half. He pulled away a little bit as Tommy spun. I mean, we must have not seen it, but
El Garito's last lap was actually a 153.1, which is 2 tenths faster than Jawa's last lap of 153.3. So he's pushing pretty hard there. Still up on his delta. We do see Sunday Driver with a little bit of a spin. Not going to get the chance to make a move on Josh Fulton just yet. But Tommy Boy taking advantage of that to get back into the top 5. Trying to look around the grid, keep our eye on some of the action here. Brian, number 7, and Botlando both struck with a little bit of misfortune in some of the early moments of the race. We'll see if either one of them can catch up to some of the action in front. Really, if they can catch up to Patchy, it's no longer a question of competition, as it's kind of close all the way up to P6 through there. See Revs 174 creeping into striking distance of Sunday Driver, actually rapidly creeping into that distance.
Are you seeing the last lap time from all the drivers as well? Because everybody from like P6 down did a P3 down did a 155.
Oh my God, yeah, and we see green laps all across the board. Oh, as Rev goes spinning into Spoon, that's going to let Patchy go by. Botlando going to try and get past as well. Brian, number 7, taking advantage of the mix, and Rev clinging on to the top 10 overall. Has 10 minutes to go, needs to find that consistency back, and there's only 3 seconds. Oh, away! Swinging through WhatsApp, he manages to get out of the way of Connolly and has to get back in motion before Big Dean Energy can catch up. Thankfully, it's at a bit of an awkward corner, so that Ferrari's not going to have too much increase in pace. We'll jump back and see if maybe that'll ignite something within Big Dino here. It's been a little while since he's had a car within striking distance. Oh, and he is eager to take advantage of it. Look at that late hammer on the brakes, already within drafting range of that Audi in front. This is going to be interesting. That Audi's definitely going to be suffering after 2 spins. It's probably deep in the red. You can see a little bit of a wiggle there. Rev doing a good job of hanging on to the car, but it is getting hairy. Big Dean Energy looking for a way through. Can't seem to find it cleanly just yet. Backing off a little bit.
Backing off was showing in the mirrors. He's saying he's letting him know he's still here. He's got the pace. He's going to keep up.
And he avoids the pass-through temptation.
We'll get some info in the live chat. We've got Cameron McIntosh Designs letting us know that Josh while making good progress, he did cook. He apparently spun on lap 1 and cooked his tires.
Yeah, I believe that must have been off of the starting straight there when he dropped back into P8. I think we missed it. It might have been with Tom's re-entry.
Oh, well, I stand corrected. The comment was just 2 minutes ago, so it must have been more recent then.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Oh. I'm watching up and down the grid at the moment. We've got Tommy Boy's Omni's closing in on set.
Oh, Rev 174 goes into the wall just shy of the line. He's going to be Austin Powers a little bit onto the straightaway, but does manage to get moving.
Really easy to do that off of that final chicane curve. It's so easy to dip a rear wheel in the dirt and catch it on the groove of the track, have it spin your car out.
Yeah, it did look like he got pulled a little bit there. Jawa and El Garito 12 seconds away from the rest of the pack. That Ferrari not letting up, staying within what I'm still going to call striking distance, only 1.2 seconds away.
El Garito, my hat is off to you, my friend. Out of nowhere.
Now, those softs on that Ferrari are going to get a little bit more difficult to maintain as we head into the final 7 minutes.
Does rear wing say banned?
It does.
That's awesome.
Yeah. El Garito, our resident band admin.
Oh, wonderful.
And he is hammering it down through turn 1.
Ooh.
You can tell he wants to catch up to Jawa. He's not going to let up. He has been on quite the hot streak recently, winning pretty much most of the events that we've been covering. So I'm willing to bet he sees this as a threat to his kingdom. And that Lamborghini, although it's fighting well.
He's going to have the advantage here in the last 5 minutes, too. With those medium tires, it's going to be tougher and tougher for El Garito to hold on to the softs.
Yeah, you can see he is clinging on to the pace, but he's changing that line a little bit. But a small mistake from Jawa could be all he needs, because that's one hell of a spot to do it. This is a long straightaway. Garito is able to pick up a couple of tenths. Not enough to get into any sort of a drafting range.
Hold on now. Let him cook. He's working on it. He's working on it real hard here. Oh, the acceleration. Okay.
Now, the nice thing for Jawa is going to be that he spun into the dirt a little bit as opposed to on the track. So might not have messed up his tires as far as a flat spot goes. Might have heated him up, but might not have been terrible.
Really sticking to that inside line for the entry there. Really interesting to see the way he's managing to get that Lamborghini around the corners. Very different from the other cars that we have on the track, especially for the Ferrari.
Yeah, we do see El Garito, though, with a little bit more of an improvement that lap. Gains 2 tenths to Jawa according to the live timings as far as comparing their overall laps. Big Dean Energy has a spin with the environment. So does Bullet as well. But Bullet manages to keep moving. Big Dean on the gas. 4 minutes, 20 seconds remaining, and he's got 6 seconds to make up to the Audi in front.
El Garito is up 3 tenths on his personal best lap. This is fantastic. He's really putting the pressure on Jawa.
Yeah, we do see Jawa currently with the better personal best of the two of them. So this would be a strong message that he's here to play if he can keep this pace. Going to come down to the exit. Might have a little more acceleration if he can hang on and keep it clean. Oh, and he loses those precious tenths that he had.
Yeah, he took it a little bit thinner than Jawa did that lap, and it cost him a lot. Yeah, his tires seem to be, he pushed them really hard last lap, and maybe they're struggling a little bit as we get into the last 3.5 minutes.
And
see if he can take advantage here.
Speaking of long periods of time, I've been keeping an eye on this one for quite some time here. Oh, and chose the perfect moment to do it, as that's going to be, Josh Fulton gets nailed as Brian number 7 tries to move out of the way of Patchy. And ends up nailing Josh in the process. That'll drop Josh down to P9. One hell of a time to switch over to that one.
Oh. And just now catching up with Tommy Boy. He's now only 2.5 seconds behind Mr. Seb.
Yeah, Tommy Boy's certainly carrying some pace, but so is that orange Ferrari of Bot Lando. I've noticed he's creeping closer and closer to the Cat in the Hat in front, and the Cat in the Hat slides off the track, and through goes the Ferrari. You know, we can say through goes Hamilton now, as of this year.
It's true. Ferraris are going to have a huge load of points today. It's going to be great.
Yeah, they are certainly looking good. Cameron saying it best, it's both a good day and an unfortunate day for Team Admin Abuse. But it's only the first race of many, 2 of them today. So it's got one more to go. Speaking, holy cow, El Garito dabbling within 0.6 of Jawa for a moment there. This is a man on a mission. He's got 2 laps to make something happen, creeping within 0.5 now. I'd say this is drafting range if he can hang on here.
Ooh.
That was big.
Jawa. That was huge.
I don't think Jawa's used to seeing someone this close to him in the rear view mirror.
Oh, the Lamborghini bouncing all around.
And he's focusing on it.
Ooh.
Oh, pushes a little bit too hard into Wicked, but might be able to make up for it. And Wilson's just barely touching the grass, so that'll slow him down enough to where he's not a threat to the Lamborghini just yet. But a big turn here could make something happen. A little bit of a spin from Jawa. I think Jawa might be having a little problem with his rears as well. The Lamborghini might just be cooking tires here in these final parts of the race. This is the last lap. This is going to be it. 30 seconds remaining. It's not going to be enough time for them to get by. El Garito needs to move. That Ferrari is pushing hard through Big Rock there. You can see him staying within that drafting range. He'll get a couple of straights to make use of it, but he needs to get closer. He needs to be at least 0.3 to really get a strong pull. He's not doing it. Jawa doing a great job of defense. Oh, and that's going to cost him big. El Garito with a little bit of a wide entry into Deliverance. Going to put him a few tenths away once more. But the Bandito showing us why he is the best, trying to force his way through where he can. Jawa looking to take away that title on his first race.
Ooh.
And making a statement, but this is going to be it. It's going to come down to the final end. He's trying to push his nose through, backs out a little bit, doesn't want to take it here. I think he's going to try and go for a late one and line himself up.
He wants to go around the outside.
Little switchback action. He's going to push. He's going to push.
Oh! Jawa covers it off. He slams the door.
He does. That is going to be it. Jawa manages to stick his rear end through before he can get the nose in, and it was done cleanly. It was not a note by the broadcaster team there. Just good racing overall. Sunday driver looking for his chance on Botlando, almost found it there.
So we see Seb coming. Seb holding off Tommy Boy. Tommy Boy must have had another spin. He fell back by 10 seconds.
Yeah, I think he did there. Possibly a little crash of the environment or something. El Garito, what a race. You're too fast on the straights. His message to Jawa.
Very kind.
So we see nearly a perfect 10 seconds separating Seb and Tommy Boy. Something definitely happened there. Sunday driver not able to catch up to the Botlando Ferrari in front. Patchy and Brian, number 7, battling it out for P7 and P8. Again, we still have one more race to go with a reverse grid order. So Big Dean Energy going to get to start out up front. Josh Fulton, P9 now, but will be starting P5, race 2.
I've been thinking about that for the last 5 minutes of the race, is thinking, okay, so when El Garito gets the front of the grid, or in front of Jawa at the back of the grid, how's that going to work out?
Yeah, that is one thing I'm wondering. And on top of that, Tommy Boy is in front of them. Man. So Tommy Boy in front, Brian number 7 in front, Josh Fulton in front, all racers who are putting up pretty decent times in both the practice and the qualifying session. The one thing is they don't need to necessarily be faster than the guy's best laps. They just need to be faster than the traffic behind them. So all it takes is one of these guys breaking through before El Garito and Jawa can, and they might actually be able to get away with it. 20 seconds was the mark, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes.
And even Seb Bellew had incidents at the beginning of the race, so really that's 20 seconds, assuming you have some sort of problem.
Somebody put a restart session vote in. He didn't mean it. That's funny. Oh, you really got to feel for Mr. Fulton here as well. Really got to feel for him. I mean, you know, we're gonna see what he can put up in this next race. I'm thinking it's gonna be good. He's in the 56s in his last lap.
Yeah, but the momentum might not have been there. I mean, after a couple of spins and stuff, when the tires start to
That's
get
very
hot,
true.
it's going to be
Very, very true.
a tough one.
I think it was kicked out on him at the last corner there. See Josh across the line for P9. Mr. Connolly T is in the pit lane.
So not too shabby race one. A little bit of chaos, but pretty clean for a 13-car grid. Everybody doing their best to stick together. Just a lot of racers with some bad luck early on, but paid the price with the tires throughout the rest.
Yep. Certainly.
Keeping our eye overall on the grid here.
Oh, Brian. Oh, Brian. Poor guy.
45 minutes of fuel, Brian said. Oh. So Brian not getting the memo about the 2x20 led to a little fuel miscalculation, so he was heavy throughout the race. But that gives him room to grow for race 2. He's going to be feeling a lot lighter with fresher tires.
Suboptimal strategy, says El Garrido.
I am excited. I know these guys are all probably planning ahead, and even the tops has the numbers on it. That is some nice work.
It is a wonderful livery. I was just about to comment. Mr. Cameron had mentioned in the chat that it was a cool rat race to watch at the end, and that the Ferrari has so much front end grip, and I couldn't agree more.
God damn it, Ace, you're on the grid again.
If I don't join the grid, it'll put me back in the pits. It's all good.
Nice. All right, so from the top, Big Dean Energy going to lead us off this time, followed by Bullet, Rev 174, Connolly, Josh Fulton, the man we expect to see cut through, Brian number 7, who's going to be feeling a lot lighter, followed by Apache, Sunday Driver, Bot Lando, Tommy Boy, Seb Bellew, El Garrito, and Jawa, and of course our classic broadcasters Cam.
Yes, sir.
So we will make our way up to the front as we are definitely about to get things underway here. Lights are starting to get lit up. You can hear all the engines revving, getting ready for race 2. The energy is there. Broadcaster car back to the pits, and away we go. So Josh Fulton, as expected, gets the move on, hanging on to P4 already as we see double contact from the Fulton almost able to avoid it, but this is going to lead to a huge pile up here. Everybody caught in the mix. Fulton doing everything right, as you said, and ends up getting back on.
He went as far wide as he possibly could on the track. Oh, it's like watching a train crash.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. So most of the grid gets caught in that. Big Dean Energy, the only one to escape, ends up with a now 5-second lead as Connolly goes wide, leaving Bot Lando and El Garrito and Jawa already
duking it out. Are they duking it out?
Finding themselves up ahead. Seems like we've got a little bit more contact going on back here, as I see nobody else off the grid, so it might have just been a little bit of friendly bump drafting, hopefully. Josh Fulton trying to find a way through. We're going to get closer here in a moment. As the BMWs fighting side by side. Yeah, the team play for sure. We're going to try and jump up over to that one, but I want to see if Brian can make his move.
Absolutely.
Keeping our eye. Josh Fulton trying to find a way through. He's going to move if Brian doesn't. I'll tell you that much. Gonna try and get a better view from Josh's angle here if we
Josh
can.
Fulton with
Through
a
hook.
dark orange front wing, and his side skirts and rear wing are damaged as well. Oh, Sunday driver off the track.
And that's going to be Brian and Josh's ticket through. We're going to jump now over to Jawa, clinging on behind El Garito. As Josh
almost causing a collision there. That's
Connolly going off track, so giving Josh another one. Already up to P8, familiar territory. P8 at the end of lap 1. We saw how that worked out for him in the last one. Really wasn't too bad. Made his way all the way up to P4. Just needs to do that again and hold it, which he certainly can. Jawa and El Garito still have not found a way through Botlando yet. Hopefully this is the chance for Garito, as Botlando not really... Oh, he is going to defend that inside line a little bit. I was going to say not really putting up too much of a fight.
Goes wide, puts it on the grass, but keeps it clean. Well done.
Now Botlando ended up being a little bit of a blockade there for Jawa, so he will fall back on the acceleration, and that puts a car between them, which from the manufacturer's perspective could be good. Based on the last race, he only really needs to give him about a second or so.
Jawa got really close to the rear diffuser of Botlando. He thought he was going to get through.
He wants to make it through so bad. It looks like we actually have a really tight three-way battle going on here with Josh, Seb, and Brian. We're going to jump for just a moment as we see Seb made his way past Josh. So Josh struggling with that aero damage, trying to get back on the hunt, but not going to find anything just yet. We'll jump back over to the battle for P2 as Big Dean Energy 3 seconds away from the pack behind. One, two, three at the moment.
Oh,
don't count Botlando out. He is hanging on through what's up with a solid entry into Wicked. He's actually going to have a tough... Oh, I was going to say...
Jawa flashing the lights.
Yeah, Jawa not happy with that one there. I'm not sure if it was an intentional defensive move. It looks like he was just trying to recover the line. Probably didn't realize that Lamborghini had the pace to carry on through.
Tommy Boy with 3/10 even on El Garito that lap is really making his way closer to Jawa.
Yeah, I see he's only 1.9 seconds away, so definitely a solid pace. Gonna jump over to Seb Bellew. Oh, right now looking for the move on Brian number 7. Think we're gonna get a front row seat to it through Gills. Oh, as he's not gonna be able to make it happen. That BMW is quick through the corners, which is really gonna help out. But that Audi does have a high top speed. Brian trying to cover off the inside move, unfortunately cost himself 2 positions in the mix. Sunday driver going to try and make that 3 if they can. Josh Fulton going to be trying to use Seb as a way to catch back up to the action in front. Jawa creeping back closer to the orange Ferrari.
Oh,
like we said, he was going to say his patience is going to be wearing thin. Makes it look for that inside. I think that one wasn't even for a pass. It was just to send the message that he's coming, as that was a pretty controlled attempt there. Botlando gonna want to start thinking about letting up at some point, although this is definitely helping out his teammates up ahead.
Oh, and Tommy Boy as well. Holy cow, look behind.
Oh my God, you're not wrong. Tommy Boy has come behind. 0.3 seconds off. Jawa is not going to like that.
And he's going to lose out.
And that's going to help Jawa trying to squeeze Tommy Boy if he can. That high speed of the Lamborghini, though, is going to be enough. Tommy Boy going for the cutback, ends up having to touch his brakes a little bit into turn 1. Not something we've seen too much.
Oh, Tommy Boy's going to be next. He's running so quick right now. 52.9. He's 2.5 seconds faster than anybody.
Man, we are actually almost 6.5 minutes in. It feels like the time is flying by as these guys still haven't decided any positions. Patchy.
El Garito's taking the lead. El Garito's taking the lead.
He has. Looks like Big Dean Energy finally concedes to him Already 1.5 seconds separating the two, putting Jawa at almost a 4-second disadvantage. Jawa needs to make something happen soon. Tommy Boy is
going around the
looking to pick up
outside.
the pieces. He is
He's going around
hammering
the
through that
outside.
outside,
Oh, as he goes
and
off
it
track.
ends up putting him on the grass. Patience
Oh.
is a virtue, as Tommy Boy will pick up P4 in the mix. Jawa not going to be happy about that one. I'm imagining he's going to try and find a way back up through wherever he can. So it's Tommy Boy's turn to try and get past the orange Ferrari. That'll give Jawa a chance to cool the tires and get back into the mix.
That was incredible. Wow.
Karen, I'm not going to repeat that one on the broadcast, but yes, you are correct.
I will. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too funny. Oh my gosh, what a
No,
move! What an
that's fine.
attack.
Yeah.
So
Sorry.
no, I should. I was just thinking what I would say to Jawa in that moment would be, as Tommy was making a decisive move, Jawa's moves as he gets on the grass a little bit were not quite as decisive. He was never fully alongside. He had two wheels alongside the rear axle of Lando, but never enough to, other than the around the outside move, which just he carried too much speed. He let off the brakes as Lando goes really wide and allows Tommy Boy through. See Jawa, they just had to put the pressure on him and keep it there. He's gonna make a mistake.
And it's going to be Jawa's turn once more to try and get past the orange Ferrari. We've seen this one before. I'm expecting a huge dive coming up in the next lap or two. Tommy Boy going off.
Oh, Jawa, all the way through. Incredible.
A monster move from the Lamborghini there. Puts him right back into the hunt. Now just needs to climb up to Dean Energy ahead. That's what he was looking for. There's still a good amount of race left. Dean goes off, so that's going to make this a little bit easier. As the Lamborghini gets by, that is going to let Lando creep in a little bit closer, even to drafting range. As Dean struggling to get back onto the track, but does manage to do so. Tommy Boy only 1.3 seconds away, so he is not out of this one either. And El Garrido is dominating first place. All of this battling is helping him out. He's putting up 153s while these guys are stuck with 155s, not able to make their way through. Jawa through that Ferrari though, 7.1 seconds to El Garrido in front. 10 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. This is going to be his moment to push.
He is already 7/10 of a second. So we gotta, we're thinking he was getting held up quite a bit. Yeah, as El Garrido pumps in the fastest time. He's still within eye shot. He's 7.6 seconds away. This straight line is going to help him out a lot. He's gaining 53.7 still. Oh, he's still a second slower. El Garrido absolutely flying right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, so 1 second separating them on this lap. We're going to check back in and see where that number lies on the next one. We also have a little bit of a three-man battle going on back here between Brian number 7, Josh Fulton, and Sunday Driver. I think Josh really struggling with the aero issues here, giving some of these other racers a chance. As Brian going to look for an inside move here. Josh leaves the door a little bit open for him as he knows that outside lane is the quicker one through Gills. And Brian will have to reset the pace. Definitely not going to be catching up here on Rocky Road. We'll have to find something on another turn. But Tommy Boy, looking for a move through temptation, clings on to the rear end of his old teammate Lando. Can he swing by? He's at least going to catch that ride into the crown. Can he make something happen with it?
Oh,
Tommy slams on the brakes. He thinks Lando is going to spin when he comes in contact with the grass, but Lando controls it, and Tommy ends up being the one to spin out. Big Dean Energy taking advantage of it, moving up into P4. Tommy Boy still hanging on to the top 5, but once again, that's going to be one he'll wish he had back. 8 minutes remaining. Let's check in on our leader, El Garrido, through Wilson, starting to catch to our first lap traffic, I believe, of the day. So he puts up a 1:53.9, not his best lap. Coming up behind him is going to be Jawa, 1:53.8. Oh no, I see a little bit of contact there between. Oh, looks like both races are okay. I was going to say Josh Fulton and Rev 174. And it looks like
about half a second on that, on overtaking that lap traffic. That was a big disadvantage.
Yeah, it was a tough spot to do it in. Josh Fulton really struggling to keep this car under control. Falls back a little bit more to Rev 174. As we're going to jump over to Patchy in the Audi, trying to catch up to Seb Bellew in the battle for P6. Wind did cut down a little bit, down to 7 kilometers an hour, so not as terrible for him.
Still sticking in the rear, just out of the slipstream from Tommy. 2 Audi drivers together.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to try and get this P4 back, but 7 seconds when you're lapping about the same to Bot Lando is going to be tough to make up with 7 minutes to go. I'll need to be about 1.5 seconds faster per lap starting now. Or maybe not, as we see someone off in front. Oh, that's actually going to be Bullet the lap traffic, which could give Tommy Boy the chance he's looking for to wiggle through the Ferrari. Get a little bit of side-by-side action between the two as they make light contact. Nothing too crazy. As well. Yeah, very high speed indeed, but they do manage to avoid anything significant as both racers carry on through. Tommy Boy finds himself almost 9 full seconds away from Bot Lando in front. Now slightly more than, as Patchy and Bullet have a little bit of contact through Wilson's. So Patchy
took a 2-second chunk out of that lead too.
Yeah, I did notice that. Jawa is well. Ooh, a little spin from Sunday Driver. Jawa is well cranking away though. 5 minutes remaining, 5 seconds separating them. As Josh Fulton finds himself staring at the back of the Cat in the Hat car. Those tires very hot, gonna give him and the Black Cat racer a chance to move through.
Sunday Driver down.
Yeah, very unfortunate here. With 5 minutes remaining, he's going to be hoping for a little bit of misfortune from some of the guys in front. We'll work our way around the grid, moving up to the Black Cat racer, who's trying to chase down that black Lamborghini of Josh Fulton ahead. 4 seconds separating them. That's a little bit of a chunk to go, but not something that's impossible. Take a look at our dark horse today. The Techley racer, number 23, battered and bruised, but carrying through the war. Not going to be going into their record books for the black livery today, but this is a very difficult track when you're getting knocked around like a ping pong ball.
It's true.
Jump now over to the 223. I don't think we've shown too much love to this one today, but Rev has really been consistent overall. Hanging out to P9 right now inside the top 10. Only 5 seconds separating them in the BMW of Brian, number 7, ahead. Taking a look at their top times. It's going to be tough. Rev's going to have to dig deep here, but not out of the question. Brian, number 7, up front in the number 2 race car, also battered and bruised. A lot of these guys towards the back of the grid have run into an incident or two. Brian finds himself nearly 30 seconds away from Patchy, who we checked in with earlier, trying to chase down Seb Bellew here in the Red Bull number 22.
El Garrito has suddenly snapped back onto his best lap pace. Suddenly found himself in the land of the 52s at the moment.
That's something that he definitely needs here. There's not a lot of race left to go. He just needs to keep him at bay. He doesn't need to beat every single time. Just needs to pull a little bit more out of the bag where he can. We'll jump over to Big Dean Energy now in the Scarlet Ferrari. Still has eyes on Tommy Boy in front, although Tommy Boy slowly starting to chip away at the orange Ferrari, a few tenths at a time, but definitely not going to be able to see that podium spot barring any mistake from the man in head, Bot Lando. This is
Big day for
a
Botlando.
pretty clean car. It doesn't look like it's seen too much damage there, too much action in race 2. A lot of...
I see. Oh, you know what? He's got a little rear end and right side screen damage. That's what I mean. That's small, very small.
Yeah. Looking pretty good overall, though. Probably just from some friendly bump drafting, which we love to see. As he works his way through.
That was from Jawa.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. When he headed, gave him a little love there. Yep. Speaking of the man, only 4.4 seconds separating those two. Big wiggle indeed. Only 2 minutes to go. Taking a look at where they are on the track, there is going to be probably only one more lap after this one. Really, and you can see that Ferrari up front is just out of grasp. But I think El Garito is going to be able to hang on as long as he keeps it clean. It's been one hell of a race from El Garito here, though.
Absolutely. What a comeback. What a comeback. Oh, as Botlando goes off track. Botlando's in the grass. Is this going to allow Tommy Boy through?
Botlando ends up in the grass. I don't see Tommy Boy.
No, he's still, what is it, 6 seconds, 4 seconds behind.
Wow. That felt like it was more than a 4-second loss. So I don't know, is Tommy Boy... Oh, Tommy Boy must be... He's a second off his current pace right now, too.
Wow. Something's going on. He's, you know, Tommy Boy's really... He's, at this point, I feel like we're watching an older version of Jawa, where the speed was really, really there. It's just the consistency was... You saw the spins. But Tommy's been, honestly... He's in P4 right now. He's crushing it. He's got a 55.1 as his last lap. He's done a 52.9 this race. It's there.
You gotta wonder if the tires are just starting to hurt a little bit too much at this stage in the game. A couple of spins here, I think, are really costly in the long run on those softs. They can make it to the end, but it is pushing it when you do it. Seb Bellew looks to be the only one within striking distance as we enter the final lap of the race. We'll bounce over, but even he's got a big hill to climb. 2 seconds separating him and the Scarlet Ferrari in front. Keeping an eye on our live timings here to see if anybody has the chance, but I don't think we're going to see much movement. We might be looking at our final grid line or final order.
I'm holding out for a Josh Fulton P10. I'm holding out for it.
He is on the cusp there. They did both just cross the line, so they've got the chance.
He had a big spin last lap. He was 12 seconds down.
Josh was, oh yeah, you can see that. So Connolly putting up 58s. Josh with a 56 in the bag. You can definitely see something coming from Mr. Josh Fulton in front.
Let's see what he can cook up with here. He's already a little bit closer.
And as we head into the final corners of today's event, El Garito takes home race 2. Ooh, actually we have a little bit of contact here. Bullet and Rev, but Rev able to keep moving forward, so that's not going to be enough to help him out. But El Garito finishes up top, Jawa behind, looks like followed by Botlando, Tommy Boy, and maybe Big Dean Energy, as Seb Bellew trying to make something happen here in those final few turns. Doesn't look like he'll get the chance, so that Scarlet Red will take home P5 with the Audi not too far behind in a solid P6. Patchy now working his way through the final turn, going to wrap up a P7 there. We've got Brian looking to follow through as well.
Had a bit of a spin there, but all good.
Just a bit, but
Oh,
manages to keep
oh,
carrying on.
you got it, Brian. You got it, Brian.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, what do you see?
He was wiggling and he lifted at the finish line.
Uh, well, we're keeping an eye here. Josh Filton looking to find his way into P10 towards the last couple corners. Doesn't look like this lap is going to be the one to pull it through.
Oh, he's trying the pit lane strategy.
And
It's
it's
not
going to
working.
be a finish in the pits.
Very reasonable. This
He
is like
crosses the line.
that
P11
perspective.
followed closely by Sunday Driver.
What a race. What
What
an excellent race.
what a race indeed, as a lot of highs and lows all together. No race to the finish as we saw in race one, but still a lot of high value entertainment there.
Seriously.
Next week we have an open event, so not sure whether or not that'll end up getting broadcasted, but week after I'll be back at least for the season base. Hopefully you'll be around.
Yeah, it certainly will be.
All right. Well, appreciate you guys watching, and we'll see